Beryl is a 40-year-old swordsman running a small dojo in a very remote village. When he was young, he used to dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. But those days are long gone, and now he has accepted that he is just above average when it comes to his sword skills. Though he could not make a name for himself as a swordsman, Beryl has discovered that he has a talent for teaching, and he uses it to teach the students of nearby villages, keeping his family's legacy of swordsmanship alive. Many of his students have made a name for themselves in the world, and thanks to that, he feels completely satisfied with his slow life. But his parents are not. They want him to marry and give them cute grandchildren to spoil, and Beryl struggles to explain to them that he is an incel who can't pull a girl even if he wants to. One day, as they are eating lunch and the old-timers are pressuring Beryl to get a wife, someone knocks on the door. Beryl quickly goes to open the door in order to get away from his parents' nagging, but he is surprised to see his former student Alucia standing in front of him. He welcomes her inside, and Alucia informs Beryl that she has recently been promoted to the commander of Royal Knights. Beryl is impressed on learning this, and Alucia tells him that apart from her other duties as the commander, she also teaches the knights swordsmanship. She says that she recommended Beryl's name as a special instructor for the Royal Knight Order, and the imperial family accepted her recommendation. Beryl doesn't understand what is going on, but Alucia shows him his appointment letter with the seal of the imperial family. Beryl thinks that this is some sort of April Fool prank, but his dad reads the letter to find that he will be seriously punished if he refuses. Alucia then informs Beryl that her carriage is waiting outside and they will reach the capital in just one day. Beryl is not sure about it yet, but his dad tells him to go to the capital and find a good wife. He even jokes that he should try dating Alucia, and while Beryl discards the idea because of the age gap, Alucia would totally let him hit. In the end, he has no choice but to accompany her. Beryl suddenly spots that Alucia still has the sword he gave to her when she graduated, and says that this ordinary sword no longer suits the commander of Royal Knights. Alucia denies that, saying that this is the only sword she will ever use, and Beryl thinks that she is saying this because she respects him a lot as her master. He, on the other hand, is pretty damn sure that he is not fit to be a special instructor. Alucia suddenly starts talking about how excited she is for Beryl. She tells him that he is already considered a legend among swordsmen because his students quickly reached the highest level wherever they went. He has been nicknamed the Backwater Swordmaster, but Alucia doesn't like the nickname too much. Beryl doesn't really care about it though, because he thinks that he is not even a decent swordsman, forget being a swordmaster. After a few hours, they finally reach the capital city, and Alucia shows Beryl to an inn for the night. The next morning, she takes him to her knight order and introduces him as her master who is way stronger than her. Beryl panics after this hype-building introduction, but he keeps his speech a short and humble one. After the speech, Alucia tells Beryl that he has to instruct the knights every Sunday, which is his day off in the village dojo, so it will not be too difficult for him. Just then, another female knight comes running towards them, calling Beryl master, and he recognizes her as Kirani, one of his most hardworking students. He praises her, saying that she has become a fine knight just like she always dreamt of, and Kirani replies that she is excited to learn from him again. After that, Beryl returns home, and he is surprised to find that another one of his students has come to visit him. The guy named Randrid gets up to greet his master, and then Beryl notices that he has brought his wife and baby with him too. Beryl's father suddenly tells him that he is no longer needed in this village and asks him to settle in the capital to do his job full-time and, more importantly, to find a wife. Beryl is utterly dumbfounded by this, but Randrid soon explains the situation to him. After having a baby, he and his wife decided to move to a peaceful village, and he also quit his job as an adventurer, even though he was at the highest rank. Beryl's father adds that this works in their favor as well, because Randrid knows their teaching style very well, and while Beryl works in the capital, he can handle the dojo here. Beryl realizes that he is no match for his father's cunning wit, and he accepts to let Randrid teach at the dojo while he stays at the capital. The next day, he returns to the capital and tells the entire story to Alucia while searching for a house. Alucia suggests that he stay with her, but Beryl quickly shoots down the idea and her hopes of jumping him. To change the topic, Alucia suggests they have lunch first and Beryl agrees, but just then, someone calls Alucia's name, insulting her for being with a man when she should be doing her duty as the knight commander. Beryl feels bad that Alucia is being taunted because of him and he hides his face, but she tells him that the girl who insulted her is stupid, so they shouldn't take her words seriously. She walks away from the redhead, who keeps following her angrily and even pulls down Beryl's map to see his face. While Beryl's eyes go to her black adventure plate first, the redhead falls completely silent on seeing him. She starts calling him master as well, but Beryl has no idea who she is. The woman tells him that it has been 20 years since they last met, and even if he doesn't remember her face, he should remember the orphan named Shurna that he took in and trained in swordsmanship. Beryl suddenly remembers about her and realizes that she has changed a lot. Shurna apologizes for not reaching to him earlier to tell him about her success, but Beryl understands that people get busy when they grow up. Shurna then asks her what is he doing with someone like Alusha. Alusha gets offended by this question and explains that Beryl is the special instructor of her Knight Order, and she is helping him find a house. Shurna claims that she can help him more with that because she works as a broker part-time, and Beryl suddenly feels that he should not step in between the two of them. Anyway, Shurna helps him find a good place to rent, and Beryl asks her and Alusha to be on better terms with each other. The next day, Alusha leads him to the Knight Order's training ground so that he can start his duty. She tells everyone to get in line, but then her Vice Commander Henblitz steps forward and challenges Beryl to a duel so that he can see if he is strong enough to teach the Royal Knights. Alusha accepts the challenge without even consulting Beryl, and he can't go back on her word now. As he gets ready to face Henblitz, the knights start gossiping about him, saying that he doesn't look strong or skilled enough to teach them. Beryl completely agrees with them, and then Henblitz also tells him that he thinks Alusha is making a mistake because she respects her master too much, but he will correct that mistake. With that, Alusha gives the signal to start the duel, and Beryl decides to at least look cool while he gets beaten to save his student's reputation. Henblitz suddenly dashes towards him and begins swinging his sword furiously. Beryl only dodges his powerful attacks, but then he deflects his sword's direction just by a small degree, leaving Henblitz completely unguarded and hitting his chin. Beryl gets concerned about hurting him because he planned to stop. Both the fighters get back to the starting position to resume the duel, and this time Henblitz decides to use his full power. Beryl realizes that Henblitz is faster and stronger than him, but his moves are super easy to read and deflect just by changing his direction a little bit. Henblitz gets pissed when Beryl deflects his sword, so he decides to unleash his ultimate move by spinning rapidly. However, when he lands on the ground, his sword doesn't hit anything, and Beryl is already behind him, tapping his shoulder with his sword to claim victory. Henblitz is completely bamboozled, but he quickly admits defeat and then turns into Beryl's fan, treating him to dinner at a bar to apologize for being rude earlier. He keeps praising Beryl and asks how he dodged his spinning attack earlier, and Beryl replies that he just matched his spin and used it to his advantage. He tells Henblitz that if he had been less rigid in his approach, he would have won the duel, and the Vice Commander gets really excited to learn such fine details from him in the future. Soon after that, Beryl starts teaching the knights seriously. As he teaches two knights about using their opponent's focus on their sword to close in the distance between them, everyone stops to listen to him. Beryl feels that they are giving him unnecessary attention because this is just common sense that he got from his experience. After concluding the teaching session, Beryl takes a break, and Hen offers him a towel. Beryl remembers how intense the guy was during their first sparring match, but thanks to that, everyone respects him now. Suddenly, Kirani comes running and offers to show Beryl around the city if he has no plans for the day. He tells her that he is free and takes up her offer when Hen also insists that he see the city. On the other hand, Alusha is delivering her weekly report to the royal officials who are quite curious about the performance of Special Instructor Beryl. Alusha assures them that Beryl has exceeded everyone's expectations already and then leaves the room. She suddenly starts thinking about how she first met Beryl when her parents moved to a nearby village and enrolled her in his dojo. Alusha was a bit shy back then, but when she saw Beryl for the first time, she thought he was a kind and trustworthy guy. The training he put her through was quite unique because it focused on making her entire body stronger and more efficient. Though she did not get the point of the training at first, she kept on doing it because Beryl praised her for even the slightest things she did well, and by the end of the year, she could feel the difference in her abilities. One day, Beryl decided to spar with his two best students, Randrid and Alusha, to test their progress. When Alusha's chance came, she couldn't find any opening in Beryl's stance, but the moment he moved his arm slightly, she tried attacking him only to get defeated within a split second. She was taken aback by this, but Beryl praised her, saying that she had good instincts because she found the correct time to attack him. Alusha couldn't understand what he meant back then, but soon, Beryl took his students to another school to compare their skills with the students there. Alusha found that her opponent's stance was pathetic, and it didn't take much effort for her to score the winning point against him. The rest of the students won their bouts as well, and when they were on the way back home, Alusha asked Beryl if their dojo was too strong. He just replied that she should not think about winning and losing too much and rather focus on learning from every chance she gets. Suddenly, Alusha realized that she forgot her hairpin at the dojo and immediately ran back to get it. However, the students of that dojo were already waiting for a grudge match. They told her that she would have to fight them for real to get her hairpin back. But when Alusha refused, they decided to attack her anyway. Luckily, Beryl arrived there just in time to take the attack on his back to save his student. The jerks from the dojo tried to attack him, but Beryl quickly took the sword of their leader and pushed the others back before picking up Alusha's hairpin. This frustrated the asshole, and he took his friend's sword to attack Beryl while he was bending down. But just then, his master came there and stopped him. The jerk tried telling his teacher that Beryl's students humiliated them earlier, so they were just getting even. But the wise man told him to shut the hell up. He told his students that they lost because they are not skilled enough, and no matter how many of them gather, they won't be able to beat Beryl. The man then kneeled down, apologizing on behalf of his students, but Beryl told him that it was no big deal. With that, he and Alusha headed back home, and she kept staring at the hairpin the entire time. She apologized to Beryl since he got hurt because of her, but he told her that it was nothing. He said that he should have gone with her from the start to avoid the situation, but it was all good since she didn't get hurt, and Alusha suddenly started crying on hearing this. Soon after that, Beryl and Alusha had another sparring match, and this time, she used his technique against him and won a point. Both of them were surprised by this, but Beryl accepted that he could not teach Alusha anything more now. He gave her a real sword as her graduation gift, and even though Alusha did not want to leave him, she accepted his decision. After leaving Beryl's dojo, she immediately went to the capital city to prove to the world that her master's sword skills were the best. She took the exam to join the Knight Order and defeated her opponents instantly. Even the examiners who tried to test her lost against her because Alusha found they were much slower than Beryl. She joined the Knight Order with full marks and then quickly made her way to the top. Throughout her journey, she realized that no one in the entire Knight Order could compare to Beryl, and she decided that she would not let him waste his life and talent in the countryside. So when she became the commander of the Royal Knights, she recommended his name to become a special instructor and brought him to the capital. Now, she feels that in the 10 years she was away from him, he has become even sharper and stronger. After coming out of her nostalgia, Alusha goes to the training hall and finds the knights practicing with each other. Hen tells her about the things Beryl taught them today and then reports that Kirani is taking him on a tour of the city right now. Alusha gets jealous on hearing this because she wanted to show Beryl around the city on a date. Meanwhile, Beryl is marveling at how big the city is when he suddenly runs into a magician named Feist. She calls him master like everyone else, but Beryl doesn't even remember her. Feist acts sad that he can't remember her, and only after she shows him the graduation sword he gave her, he realizes that she used to be one of his students as well. He remarks that she has changed so much that he can't even recognize her now, but Feist is not pleased with his answer. Kirani joins the conversation and tells Beryl that Feist is now a powerful wizard with the magic division now, and that shocks him because he doesn't remember her being able to use magic. Feist startles him by creating a fireball out of thin air, and Beryl is impressed because only the most talented and hardworking people can become wizards. He is a bit sad that Feist has left her swordsmanship skills behind, but he is also proud of her. Just then, they hear a woman scream as a thief steals her purse. Beryl and Kirani get ready to catch him, but Feist stops them because she wants to deal with the situation herself. She draws her sword and then charges it with magic before sending a flying slash towards the thief. The magic slash ties the thief's legs together, causing him to fall to the ground, and Kirani immediately puts him under arrest. Feist then proudly tells Beryl that she uses the sword skills he taught her in the form of her unique sword magic, and he feels even more proud of her. The next day, Beryl wakes up early to go on a morning walk around the city, when he suddenly hears someone calling him from behind. As he turns around, he finds a girl talking to him, and he asks her if she is lost. The loli gets offended because Beryl is treating her like a kid and then introduces herself as Lucy, the commander of the Magic Corps where Feist works. Beryl still thinks that the lowly is just a girl playing games, so she creates a huge fireball to show him that she is the real deal. He finally believes her after seeing the fireball, and Lucy invites herself over to join him on the walk. She tells Beryl that Feist told her a lot about him, and that made her realize how strong and skilled he was. Beryl acts humble and says that he is just a regular country bumpkin, but Lucy doesn't believe him. Instead, she leads him to an open area in the middle of the city and tells him that she is obsessed with magic and always tries to improve herself. Beryl replies that he gets her because he does the same with his swordsmanship, but he doesn't realize what Lucy is planning. She tells him that she wants to test her skills against a strong opponent and then suddenly launches an attack in his direction. Beryl dodges the attack thanks to his quick reflexes and then draws his sword because he realizes that Lucy is serious about fighting him. Lucy asks Beryl if he doesn't want to test how much he has grown against her. She asks if he doesn't think she is a strong enough opponent for him, and Beryl replies that he is the one who is not strong enough. Lucy tells him that they will find it out after the fight and then combines her smaller fireballs into a huge one to yeet it at him. Beryl dodges the giant fireball at the last moment, but Lucy doesn't give him a break. She keeps shooting fireballs at him, and Beryl barely manages to dodge all of them. Immediately after that, Lucy creates sturdy ice crystals and throws them at Beryl, but since they are solid, he doesn't have much trouble slashing them in half. Lucy decides to go back to shooting fireballs and Beryl dashes towards her, aiming to knock her out quickly. He reaches dangerously close to her, but just before he can hit her, Lucy unleashes a firestorm from her body, forcing him to back away. Beryl tells her that it is cheating if she protects her like that, but Lucy has more surprises for him. She suddenly creates some floating fireballs behind Beryl that chase after him no matter where he runs. He dodges all the attacks, almost losing his balance many times, but Lucy is impressed. She asks him if he has ever fought a wizard before, and he replies that she is the first one. Lucy stops her fire attack on hearing this and sends a giant ice block towards Beryl, who deflects it towards her instead. Lucy simply vaporizes it with fire and using the steam as his cover. Beryl decides to land the finishing blow on her. However, Lucy was ready for that and she electrocutes him midair and throws him back. She tells Beryl that he is even better than she expected and he deserves seeing her ultimate attack. She starts gathering her magic for the ultimate attack, and as Beryl sees the space around her get distorted, he realizes that he will be done for if he gets hit by the attack. Luckily, Lucy changes her mind at the last moment and cancels the attack. Beryl nervously asks her what would happen if her ultimate attack hit him, and she says that he would be mincemeat, quite literally. She then praises him, saying that he is really strong, and now she understands why Feist looks up to him. Beryl replies that he was no match for her, and if she was serious about fighting, he would have been defeated and dead long ago. Lucy laughs at his humility and tells him to come by the magic division sometimes so that she can repay him for suddenly attacking him. Beryl is glad to receive that offer, but when Lucy tells him that he is going to be her guinea pig to test new attack spells on, he immediately refuses to meet with her ever again. Later that day, as Beryl returns from training the knights, he runs into Feist, who is delivering magic potions to the Knight Order. She also has a bottle of expensive wine to apologize for Lucy's actions. Beryl decides to accept the bottle, and just then, Alusha comes there. Feist takes her leave and Alusha tells Beryl that she has something important to discuss with him. She tells him that Schurner recommended his name to train new adventurers before they start their careers so that they don't die in the first dungeon raid itself. Those words remind Beryl of his first dungeon raid where he got his clapped by some monsters and never went back. Alusha tells him that there is no issue from the Knight Order if he wants to take any side gigs. So Beryl decides to talk with the guildmaster first. Schurner leads him to the guildmaster's office, but to his surprise, Lucy is also there for some business. Guildmaster Nidus greets Beryl, saying that he has high hopes for him since he trained a great adventurer like Schurner. Even Lucy recommends him for the job and Beryl realizes that he won't find a way to refuse this job now. However, when the guildmaster's assistant arrives there and begins questioning Beryl's qualifications, he sees a ray of hope that can save him from the job. The assistant says that even though Schurner, Alusha, and Lucy trust Beryl, the guild needs to see his skills before hiring him. He suggests that Beryl should spar against Schurner so that they can judge his skills, and Beryl realizes that he is in even deeper now. He can't refuse and goes to the training ground, and all the adventurers gather there because they have never seen Schurner deem anyone worthy enough to duel with. However, all Sherna can think of is that she is finally getting her chance to show her skills to her teacher. She remembers the time when her parents were traveling to a nearby city to sell some goods, but then a monster attacked them. Her mom pushed her into the river below so that she would survive, and it was her fortune that Beryl found her. He brought her home and helped her get better physically, but her mind was in tatters because of her parents' death. She was not interested in anything, but then she saw Beryl practicing his swings. He asked her to give it a try herself and soon found herself getting more and more interested in swordsmanship. Beryl kept teaching her patiently and gradually, Sherna started recovering mentally as well. Beryl noticed that she was quite agile, so she suggested that she use twin swords instead of one, and that became her style. Then one day, a well-to-do family from the city adopted her and Sherna had to leave Beryl's house before she could even graduate. She left with tears in her eyes and decided to become an adventurer so that she could save people and use the skills Beryl taught her. Now, as she faces her teacher after 20 years, she feels nostalgic and so does Beryl. He decides to give it his all so that his student is not disappointed in him. Just as the fight starts, Sherna leaps high in the air to attack him. Beryl blocks her initial attacks while getting pushed back, but he soon starts gaining control of the situation. He is still having trouble keeping up with her pace, but Sherna is thrilled to see that she can't land a single hit on him despite trying seriously. She is happy that she can live out her dream of fighting her teacher seriously, and Beryl is also proud of her for never neglecting her training even after she left his dojo. He realizes that she is better than him in speed, strength, and stamina, but he finds one weakness in her fighting style. As Sherna lunges to attack him again, he thrusts his sword through her arm guard and makes her drop it. Sherna tries to attack him with her other sword, but she is wide open now, and Beryl easily trips her. She falls to the ground and Beryl points his sword at her, telling her that the fight is over. Sherna is really happy that she lost and thanks Beryl, and the crowd goes crazy on seeing such a high-level fight. Sherna tells him that as she expected, she is not good enough to beat her teacher yet. Beryl tells her that if the fight had gone on for 10 more seconds, he would have lost, but he noticed in time that she has still not mastered her left hand yet. Just then, Lucy and others also come there, clearly impressed by Beryl's skills. The assistant apologizes for doubting his skills, and then the guildmaster asks him to start teaching the new adventurers at the earliest. Only then does Beryl realize that he should not have shown his skills because now he can't turn down the job. The next day, Beryl and Sherna lead a team of 3 newbies into a beginner-level dungeon. Despite being nervous, the newbies successfully explore the dungeon and hunt the goblins they find, and Beryl doesn't get the chance to teach them anything. He is satisfied with this, but as they are heading outside, Sherna says that it is odd that there were so few monsters inside the dungeon. Suddenly, the monster detecting device with the adventurers explodes, but they don't pay it any mind and head outside. Beryl notices the presence of a strong monster outside, but he is not quick enough to alert the newbies in time, and one of them gets attacked by a griffin. Beryl and Sherna rush outside and find that the newbie is still alive despite his injuries, but the more worrisome news is that they are facing an extremely dangerous S-rank monster. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and watch the video on your screen next.